Yes, thank you. Wow, what a gift. So, you good?
I'm good.
So, water. Connie, water. Water. That's not it. Connie Milner, to the stage, please. Connie Milner, to the stage. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you. Okay. So the first lyric in that song is, everybody makes the rules according to them. So, what set of rules do you live by? I really want you to think about this. What set of rules do you live by? When I asked myself that question, I was like, so what's my biggest set of rules? Thank you. It's okay, happens every now and then, it'll never happen again. Until the next time, she said. So, everybody makes the rules according to them. What set of rules do you live by? So I asked myself that, and the rule I came up with that was the most prevalent in my life is, you can't be a victim. That's my rule. I cannot be a victim, ever. Because if I'm a victim, I'm saying somehow I didn't create it. If I'm a victim, I'm saying somehow there's something other than God, which is what I am, and that there's something out there that did something to me. So that's mine. I live by that. And basically, it makes me take responsibility for everything. Not in a negative way, just so you know. When I say I am not a victim, it gives me the opening to create whatever I want to create, knowing that victimhood keeps me locked in a place of I can't do anything about this because I'm a victim. So that's mine. And you can take that or not. I hope you do. But I want to hear some of yours. And this is, I want to really hear it. Give me something that you know you live your life by. Give me one of your rules. Create joy wherever you go. Okay, what else? I live with love. What? Live in truth. Do it now. What else? No judgment. I am here to love. So say that again? Forgive everything. So if that's what I live by, that's the rule I live by, then I guess I have to start living only love. And I guess I have to really forgive everything, right? And I guess I really have to believe there's no way for me to be a victim, right? So, there's one rule, however, that we can never escape whether we think it's ours or not, and that is the law of cause and effect. That is the rule, the law of cause and effect. Does everybody know what the law of cause and effect is? Raise your hand if you think you don't. Okay, so you all know what the law of cause and effect is. I'm still going to give you a very short capsule version of this, which is that there is that in my mind that is creative, and it creates everything in my experience. Notice I said the word experience. I didn't say it creates everything out there. I said it creates everything in my experience. It creates my experience of everything. This whole idea of I am God doesn't mean that you created the universe, just to be clear. Because if I had one more person say to me, well, if you're God, why did you make that happen? I'm like, you know what? There are other gods on this planet who are making a lot of crap happen. My universe, I'm in charge of my experience of all of it. That's what I get to create. And I do get to create certain things that happen in my own life. So that's the law of cause and effect. There is a creative idea in my mind and a belief and a feelings and emotions all around it, and it has to show up as my experience. That's the law of cause and effect, and none of us can get away from it. It's also known as karmic law. Now, Ernest Holmes wrote this: the law of cause and effect is a taskmaster to the unwise and a servant to the wise. Now just think about that for a second. The law of cause and effect is a taskmaster to the unwise and a servant to the wise, which brings me to the question of the day. Is life running you, or are you running life? Someone just said, oh. Is life running you, or are you running life? How many can identify with the idea that there are moments when life seems to be running us? All of us, right? We've all experienced life running us. Have you ever experienced you running life? How many of you have experienced that? pretty much we all have to one degree or another. And I'm here today to tell you that you can run life 100% of the time. 100% of the time. Not 50-50, not 60-40, not 80% of the time and then 20% of the time it kind of runs me. No, you can run your life, your experiential life, 100% of the time. How many of you don't believe that? Okay, so you all believe that. I'm going home. You all know this stuff. This is perfect. So this Wednesday, Cynthia Darst was here. How many of you were here for Cynthia Darst? She was remarkable. She gave such a great talk, and the title of her talk was, "It's hard to live out loud when everyone's going shh." Isn't that a great title? It's hard to live out loud when everyone's going shh. But you know what? It's even harder to live out loud when you are shushing yourself. How many people shush themselves? I know, right, Lee? They shush themselves. They tell themselves, for some reason, I'm not equal to this. Or, this is bigger than me. Oh, I could never. That's shushing yourself. And I know we should all over ourselves, but I think we do. We should ourselves to death, but I think we also shush ourselves to death. When you look back on this, if you read it, you'll see what I actually did say. You know, we apparently think that there's a rule somewhere that says we are not allowed to live out loud. I think we think there's a rule somewhere that says it's not appropriate in certain circumstances to live out loud. Do you think it's possible that there are certain circumstances where you're not allowed to live out loud? I'm going to answer it myself. The answer is no. Because living out loud doesn't mean to be obnoxious or loud. Living out loud means to live in truth through it all, no matter what. And the truth is, what goes on in the world doesn't change who I am. I'll say it again. What goes on in my world doesn't change who I am. What it does do is inform me on what I've been doing with my mind. Basically, that's really the simple thing of it. So today's talk title is called At the Core of Things. One of the lyrics in Laura's song is, why does it feel like we have to prove we're good enough or strong enough? How many of you are still trying to prove that you're good enough? You don't have to raise your hand. Oh, okay, all of you, okay. You know what? There are certain circumstances, I think, where we all get caught up in trying to prove that we're good enough, or prove we're strong enough, or prove we're, and this is the big one, prove we are worthy. Worthy. You know, I grew up in the Catholic faith, which I had to say every single day, because I did go to Mass every single day, but every day I would say to myself, oh Lord, I am not worthy to receive you. But only speak the words and I shall be healed. I got to tell you, I spent most of my Catholic life believing the first half and not understanding that the second half gets rid of the first half. So even the Catholic Church is teaching the exact right thing. Oh Lord, I am not worthy to receive you because for some reason I seem to believe that, but only speak the word, remind me who I am, and all that goes away. So it's not that there is doctrine that is teaching us wrong, it's that we're not getting it. We're not getting the heart and soul of it. Why does it feel like we have to prove we're good enough or strong enough? Why? Because at the core of our being, we think we are not powerful. At the core of our being, we're still believing that thing, I am a human being living in a spiritual universe. Or I'm a spiritual being having a human experience. And I have to tell you, if you ever hear yourself saying that, or ever hear anyone at this center say that, remind them it's not what we teach. Because there's no such thing as human divine, there's just divinely human. There's just one thing, and it's all God. And if we keep separating ourselves as human here and divine here, oh, now I'm God and now I'm something else, then we have a real problem with duality, and we don't know how powerful we are. You know, they say knowledge is power, but self-knowledge is self-power. You knowing who you are is where your power comes from. So here's the rub. Great song. I just love the song, Be Who You Are. But here's the rub. Everyone is, in fact, being who you are. Sort of. Every single one of you is being who you are, sort of. Now, Laura's song and all all songs and poems and things that talk of this imply that there's some you waiting to be lived. This song doesn't do that because I think Laura's too smart to write a song that boxes her into thinking there's something outside of herself to be. It's an inside job. But we still, I think all of us still have a little piece of that old belief that there's something, some person, some idea of who I'm supposed to be that exists, and I should keep trying to be that, trying to get there. So, I want to make some spiritual sense out of this. There is no other thing for me to be. There is no other thing for you to be. When I say I am God, I'm not saying that now I have to try to live in what that means to me, that consciousness of God, that highest level of God. No. I finally got this in the last 48 hours when I've been working on this talk. This idea came to me and I was like, oh my God. So really, it's not about God. It is about choice. God is choice. What if that's all God was choice? What if the only idea of God you had was that you are at choice to live any version of you decide to live, because that's the energy of God. And so, in that respect, what I'm saying is that every single one of us really is living. We are being who we are, because we are being based on the choices we've made about who we are. So, there's not a you waiting out there to be lived. There's life waiting for you to decide what it is. Did you get that? There's not you waiting for something out there to show you what to be. There's life inside of you just waiting for you to say, I'll have that. I'll be that. You know, I've looked at my life and I'm like, oh my God, I have been so many things at so many times. And sometimes all of them at once. And you know what? It's not that one of them is right and one of them is wrong. It's not that one of them is a better choice and one of them is a weaker choice. They're just choices. And I chose this, and I did it. And oh well, that was fun. Now I'm going to choose this. Let me do this. Oh, that was fun. What about this? We tend to think that we make a choice and we're stuck in it. I am a minister. Not like most ministers, I know. And I don't want to be that minister, because I don't know what minister means other than to live truth and talk about it. That's it. There's not like some image of, I need to be Joel Osteen without the last moment of Jesus. No, although I admire him, and I think he's being the best Joel Osteen possible. I think he is brilliant, absolutely brilliant. So, what we're talking about here today is not trying to be anything other than someone who understands they're at choice. What if that was it? Get rid of all this whole, what's my purpose in life? What am I supposed to be doing? What's the best use of me? All of that. Good questions to ask, but you're asking yourself, and yourself has those answers available if you ask those questions. But it's only the answers for that particular moment, by the way. What's the best use of me? Well, the best use of me may be this right now, but it may be this right now. And it may be this tomorrow, and it may be this the other day. This is a fluid, amazingly infinite universe for us to choose all over again every morning when we wake up. Have you ever woken up in the morning and said to yourself, I would just like to change everything? Anybody? John Livesey, I know you've had those mornings. I'd like to change everything. Not my husband, but everything else. And I'm sure there's mornings he wakes up and says, everything. I'd like to change everything. I'll be on the market next week. That's why I wore this shirt, just to give you previews. But the shirt's his, so you don't get the shirt. So, back to me. So, if God is just choice and the infinite possibility of the universe, what are we waiting for? What are we stuck in? Why are we still thinking in a limited fashion? Thomas Troward said, the only purpose in life is to enjoy it. The only purpose in life is to enjoy it. And I have been spouting that ever since the Troward class of 3 years ago. Oh my God, when I found that pearl of wisdom in the Thomas Troward book, in Creative Process, I was like, oh, this is a brilliant man who got it. The only purpose in life is to enjoy it. And today I'm about to say, I have a new understanding of this. The only purpose in life is to choose it. That's it. You get to go through your life choosing what you want to do, who you want to be, where you want to go, who you want to be with, choosing, choice. That is not relegated or put down upon you by anything. You are free to choose. So, question, what are you choosing for your life? Be who you are. There's no one else like you. No one else can do it. So be who you are. I condensed that a little bit. I know there are other lyrics there. No one else will choose the same things in the same way, and therefore you will be unique no matter what you do. 3 people can decide to do the exact same thing, and there will be 3 unique ways of doing it, even if they do it the exact same way, because every single person chooses from a whole different set of beliefs and feelings and emotions. So, what are you going to choose for your life? You already are unique. So why bother trying to be unique? You already are unique. Your choices are unique. So, all you got to be is you. What if you is really anything you decide to be? You know, I think we spend so much time trying to figure out, who am I? Well, what if the answer to that is kind of across the board the same? You are choice. That's who you are. You are choice. Now, what do you want to choose? What if God were someone else, and God sometimes is someone else if it's the person next to you. So what if I come up to you and I just say, what do you want to be? And you have an answer. And then the thing back to you is then, and so it is. What if every time you had an idea that this is what I want to do, the answer was yes? And it wasn't predicated on all the reasons why. It wasn't predicated on what's happened before. It wasn't predicated on how it's been done before. It was just, here's who I want to be. Here's what I want to do now. I really believe that the difference between success and failure, thank you, Ellen, the difference between success and failure is decision. That's it. Decision. Because the other team, by the way, when everybody was being so loud and everything and screaming about, yay, we won, there was another team sitting there that didn't, right? Is that team the losing team? No, not if that's not what's in their consciousness. Do you get the difference here? We are believing in this dualistic way of life, winners, losers, success, failure. It's just choice. I choose this right now. Where it goes, what happens to me, my experience of it gets me to then decide, this works, I'll do this more for longer. And then all of a sudden it's like, this doesn't work. Okay, I'm going to choose this. Too many people say, this isn't working. Oh my God, it's me. What did I do wrong? Let me try to fix it again. I love that workshop I took once that said, if you are good at something on a scale of 1 to 10, if you're a 2 at something, don't kill yourself to try to be a 4. Think about that. If you're a 2 at something, hire someone who's a 10 and then let them do it. Really? Really? How many people do you think spend their whole lives trying to be a 10 and they're never ever going to get to a 4 because that's not really what they want to do? So know what you're good at, know what you want, and choose that. Here's the thing. I'm probably a 9 at housekeeping, or maybe even a 10, except Kevin hates that I leave crumbs. But I am really like a 9 or a 10. I'm a 10. I'm a 10. I'm not doing his number. I am a 10. Now see that? I totally gravitated to his version of me. I'm a 10 at housekeeping. But I don't want to be a housekeeper. I don't. So I have a housekeeper. She's a 10. She is a brilliant housekeeper. So I choose to know what it is I want to do. I don't want to housekeep. So I'm not gonna. I choose to stand on this stage and be the pastor of this center, the spiritual director of this center. I'm not choosing to go out and act anymore. Unless Oh, no. Unless someone comes forward and says, what do you think of this part? You'd be great in it. Do you want to do it? And if I decide, yeah, that's the choice now, then I will be an actor in that moment. That's it. Choice, 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 choice. Say it with me. Choice. Seriously. That's, to me, what our purpose in life is. First, to know who we are, that we are the power of the universe, and then to know that with that power, we are allowed to choose whatever we want. Be who you are in every moment of every day. Don't allow anyone or anything to tell you who you should be. Don't even allow a belief system within you that still thinks you have to be this dictate to you something that's coming up that's brand new. Every single person in this room is here on purpose. You didn't just happen in, even if you happened in. You didn't just happen in. Something brought you here. Something brought me here. 60 years later, brought me here to this moment. I didn't expect to be here, and I bet many of you, how many people would say they didn't expect to be where they are right now? Yeah, okay, so, but there's something in you moving you. What if we could get so out of our own way that from now on, we literally moved from moment to moment, day to day, week to week, month to month, year to year, and allowed not something outside of ourselves to guide us, but allow that within us to guide us so that we could make choices moment by moment that served us. And literally said to ourselves, I no longer make any choice that does not serve me. What if we really lived our lives that way? I no longer make any choice that does not serve me. Let's try that on. Ready? I no longer make any choice that does not serve me. My choices not only show me who I am, but allow me to be who I am. I am the very presence of God, at choice in every moment to choose the highest, the greatest, the most expansive, the most amazing life for myself, no matter what. That's what I know, and that's what I know for you as well. Namaste. Thank you.